somehow Galway have butchered a great chance to get an opening 2 points in the Leinster Championship away to Wexford at Wexford Park, just gifting away scores in the last couple of minutes. There's so many opportunities for the Tribe, and Henry Sheffield, I'm sure, would have been really very much focused on getting off his first Leinster Championship to a great start, and they had every opportunity. The first half, they got a goal early on through Brian Kincannon. I thought he took about 8 or 9 steps, to be honest, but still in all, he got a goal. Conor Whelan had a chance for a goal, which got deflected over the bar. Brian Kincannon had another chance for a goal, but he blasted it over. He just won that ball out of a ruck. And, time after time, you just thought that Galway were just butchering chances, 10 wides in the first half, but they were on top physically, as it happened many times over Wexford in the last 5 or so years in the Leinster Championship. The tackle count I saw on Sky after 32 minutes was 26-9 to Galway. And there was this creeping suspicion throughout the entire game. Sorry, I'm live here. There was a creeping suspicion throughout the entire game that maybe they would allow Wexford back into the game. And that's ultimately what happened, because they missed so many chances. The free taken early on, that was a small bit costly for Galway. Conor Cooney missed a couple of frees. He had one wide from 65, a sideline. So in terms of the overall gameplay, yeah, it was working well for Galway, that they were controlling the game, that Wexford were struggling to even create any chances from play. The first point that they scored from play was in the 20th minute, and that came through Conor McDonald, who was obviously excellent in the game. That goal he got in the second half, when he won a ball that came in, broke down in front of himself, and Dahi Burke chopped it up to himself and knocked it into the back of the net from a really tight angle. That was fantastic play, and it continued on some of the bright sparks we saw for him, where he seemed really, really outnumbered, but he was still, making his impact on the game when so few of the other star names that you talk about in Wexford were able to do so. And the thing for Galway that would frustrate Henry Sheffield most, his team with Ballyhale, they've been goal getters, they've been, slaughtering teams, but they certainly were when he was over them, and after as well, of course, too. But they had that chance to kill the game off just beforehand. Joseph Cooney ran through, he had a man outside him. I think it was Brian Kincannon, I'll have to watch it back later on. But rather than just drawing the man who was Matt O'Hanlon and feeding his teammate in for the goal that would have killed off the game, instead, a shot is blocked by Matt O'Hanlon, goes up the other end a minute later, and it's in the back of their own net. And that's a lack of a ruthless streak just there at the moment. But there are some good things in that Galway team. There's a lot to build with, but the killer instinct has to come in. And seeing Conor Whelan go down injured, looks like he pulled up with a hamstring, tried to play on, realised he couldn't. That's a huge blow, because as far as I'm concerned, he's Galway's best player. And if you're going into the rest of what will be a very tight-looking Leinster Championship at the moment, that's the first game played at this stage. I'm just about to watch Dublin versus Leeds throw in. It's going to be a very, very tight championship, and that's going to hurt them not seeing that game out there. But for Wexford, Lee Chin, it was a real gamble to throw him in there for the last 20-odd minutes, when he hasn't really he obviously has had very little game time. Came back against Waterford in the league semi-final when they got hammered, and seemed to pull up at the end of the game. To do that and come out and score those last 2 points in injury time was great stuff from him, because he knew when he got that first ball and brought it back, obviously they'd won the ruck ball. Conor Cooney had dilly-dallied over a free. That got turned over a ruck ball, and when Chin won it, he would have known this has to go over the bar, knocking it over from midfield. Brilliant finish. Then obviously they win the ball at the other end of the field. A free is drawn, and the pressure on the man there. And you have to say, Wexford have had their problems with free taking over the years, but that was brilliant stuff from Chin. And for Dara Egan, what a boost in the first game, because they look like they're well out of the fight, but